I don't think it happens very often, and I don't think it's supposed to. I think that magic quality, that X factor that gets talked about, I think that's the rarity. I think that's what we aspire to, and what I aspire to nurture so that it can happen. You know, nerves are a terrible thing. They do terrible things to our bodies, and our bodies don't react the way we want them to. But some people, they come in, and you'll give 10 people the exact same music to sing, the exact same words to say, and 9 of them say the words, and then one of them turns it into something that takes your breath away. And you're like, absolutely, that's exactly how it's supposed to be. That's exactly how the director says, that's exactly how I heard it in my head, which is always a banner moment for us because that means we found somebody that they like. It doesn't happen often. And, you know, I think it's a real gift when it does. Because we cast so much musical theater, you know, I've heard some just glorious, you know, voices that are, you can't call it anything but a gift, because what they create is just magical. And that's what makes it exciting, and that's what takes the tedious quality out of the casting process for us. And you don't find that in an accounting firm. That's why we're not human resources. That's why it's something different. And, you know, I think of late there's been a lot of stuff going on in our business about what's appropriate behavior and how people look at our industry, and, you know, just that it has become such a commodity and a business takes some of the romance out of it, and you know, we stick hard to the line that it is still something special, and it isn't just a commodity to be brokered. There's a level for that, and we get it. We're not stupid, and you know, we understand that that's how business is done and money is made. But it's really great to find people young and bring them up to a point where, you know, eventually it turns into, you know, broker a deal for millions of dollars for somebody. That's great. You know, that's fantastic. But for most people, like when we travel out to the regional theaters to see the shows, it's pride. It's just really, it's a prideful moment to say, I helped put that person on that stage and allowed them to be that realized in their art. And that's a really good thing. Yeah, you know, you have it tracked out. It's like, you know, I'm gonna do just a little extra work, and then I'll do my soap work, and then I'm gonna get my TV show, and then it's feature films. Like, that makes perfect sense. It's not, you know, for me it's Chutes and Ladders. You know, you can go all the way up, or you can hit that big ladder. You know, I think that's the great thing about some of the reality-based talent competitions. There's a lot of amazing singers out there. We see them regularly. They could all be in the top 5 of any of those reality-based shows. For whatever reason, they're not. But, you know, those environments provide an opportunity for some really dynamic performers who have influenced our industry. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, they come to New York for a competition, and I'm like, okay, how many of those people audition for the stuff I'm casting, and they're so good, why wouldn't they make it in? Well, because it's about TV, and it's not about the voice so much as the backstory these days. You know, so I think people need to be informed and think beyond just, it is a scripted situation. It's not just magically happening, you know, on that reality television show front. That's actually a whole other area that I think people need to be more informed about. It comes down to number of contracts, union versus non-union, like we were talking about before. If it's a regional theater, those regional theaters have a mandate to their local communities to try to populate the stage with people from the area. People want to see their local favorites on the stage. So while there's a higher quality and a higher number of people viable for a job in New York, because that's where all the actors come to, there are people that live in Denver that are very talented, and they should be on the Denver stage. It's their stage. So there's the local versus out-of-town quotient that comes into the decision-making process. Housing regionally is a big cost, so therefore it's an issue and part of the decision-making process. Is someone available locally? Is there a married couple available that are both able to do it, therefore only staying? They might be willing to stay together or share a car. You know, those are not deal-breaking points in and of themselves, but they are part of the big equation of figuring out how to afford to bring the best people in. If a show, by virtue of what it needs in its cast, there isn't a lot of something locally. One portion of the cast isn't available locally. They might have to just bring in ensemble from New York to fill that, and thereby the leads who were great in New York don't get to go in because they've got people that can do it locally there. Scheduling is huge. Being available for the callback date. Working actors are busy. Some of them are out of town in a show. A director requests them, but they're not available because they're working someplace, or they can't get out of a show commitment, or they book a commercial, therefore they can't go to their theater audition, or they're booked a theater thing, so they can't go to their commercial audition. So I think, all of those business elements come into play and affect availability and decisions as they're being made through the process. Again, digitally, now actors don't have to be any place. They don't have to be in the room as much as they used to. You can pre-screen talent through video auditions. If you need something that's hard to find, you could post it. And I know, roles have been cast using YouTube uploads. I don't personally prescribe to that because it kind of takes away what I do. But I do see that it is going to become part of the auditioning environment. And it's easier for TV and film because it's all electronic. It's very hard to make that segue for the live performance. You can adjust the way you look at things. I think if you know what you're doing, you can look at a videotape and get a sense of what a person will do live. But there's something about being in the same room. I think there's something a little chemical that happens. Something about a person. Just you get a reaction to them, and that doesn't happen as easily, I think, on film as it does when you're live in the room. I'm a traditionalist. I think where I am age-wise and in my time in the business, I feel like I've been in New York for 17 years and I've just finished my internship because I was always working for somebody else. I've been informed by really great, smart people who were at the foundation of our industry, and I take a lot of pride in that. I hope that future generations of the business remember where it all started, remember that it is supposed to be about art at some level, hopefully, and to just treat people with respect and to honor the process and know that it is all very subjective for the acting population. Enjoy it. If you can't enjoy it, you're probably not going to book it because it shows when you're not happy. I like to tell actors, don't need the job, want the job. If you need it, it reads on you like something that's bigger than the moment, and I think it messes up auditions. And to just keep at it. If you're enjoying the process, have a blast. If you get burnt out and actors hit burnout points, sometimes it happens quickly. Others can, kind of subsist for a very long time, but there's this burnout factor that happens. Take some time off. Remember what you loved about acting as opposed to how badly you need to book the commercial so that you can pay your rent next month. Those are the people that I think have longevity in the business, have other interests. Make yourself a well-rounded person. It just keeps you happier, and it makes it easier to cast you in things.